Hello everyone, welcome back to ABI-DOS. Yesterday we did Channeler. Did a great job at it, if I do say so myself. Oh, I've never really read the objectives here. Power up, insert disk, select a slot, press start, consult the guide, validate the solution, repeat for every segment. Retrieve the disk. Deliver to the central database. So I guess when we're done with all the puzzles, we're going to send something to the central database, huh? And there's little, I don't know, are these bonus puzzles at 28 and so every 4 or something like that? Oscillator I is today's puzzle. This program extracts the content of 3 signals, 1, 2, and 3, in sequential order based on an external command provided by 0. Begin transmitting the content from 1 to 5 while monitoring 0. If S0 sends you a red plus, why are you telling me what the code for minus is, you sicko? I guess that's just like neutral. Okay, so there's red pluses and there's minuses. All right, fine. So is there one of these? So there isn't an input that lets you that checks the value of the U-bit, but we can use an input and a writer. Is that over here? Where are my writers? Here. I can have an input A that I configure by writing to it which input it should read from. And then produce an output from just one of these. That seems like a pretty good way to do it. And I don't need any loops or anything. Input 0 is just gonna well, I do need a loop. I need a loop because I need to track a number which is either 0, 1, or 2, right? This might be a good excuse to use the nullifier I've been given, actually, right? Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. So the signal 0 is the one that controls which input we have. So I think it's reasonable that the first thing we do is test whether it is equal to plus. I could use whether it's red or something, but whatever. Whether it's equal to 127, a plus. Nope, don't use a definer. That's wrong. Use an equal to 127. Make all those inactive. And I need actually, I was thinking it would be kind of awkward to have these 3 merge, I was thinking about doing this, right? And having a conveyor here that sends them the output, but of course I can just have the output there, and then you don't need a conveyor. Perfect. So we want this brick to exist somewhere, this little T piece. Probably it would be more efficient. It would take up less space if it were over here, right? Like so. So that's nice. But I need a port that produces a 0 that I'm going to send into a loop. Actually, wait, I want port X, actually. So it's going to give me a 0 at the beginning, and then I'm never going to ask for a new one. I need this to be closer to this stuff up here, but I'm not sure how close. I might have to move it when I'm done. But the idea is it gets into a little loop. What are the things I need to do in this loop? I need... a nullifier, I think, and an add 1. This nullifier is going to be wired up to this. So we optionally add 1. Then we always, although it might as well be optional, I suppose, take a mod 3. This is so that if we increase from 3 or from 2 to 3, we wrap around, or I guess we want to increase by 1 the first time, huh? But I... kind of annoying. It's need to request input from either port 1, 2, or 3, not 0, 1, or 2. So actually, I guess... I want the mod 3 operation to happen. I want an unconditional add 1. Oh, this is stupid. Is it? I want to take the mod 3, getting me 0, 1, or 2, and then unconditionally add 1, getting me 1, 2, or 3, right? I think that's true. So I actually do want an unconditional add 1 in here somewhere, which is nice. But then I need another one controlled by this. So I know I'll have a value in the range 0 to 2 when I get to this plus. Something's not right. So I think I want my conditional add 1 to be here. It'll be unconditional the first time in. Or wait, will it? Why don't I just do nothing? My conditional add 1 is here. I had to cover my face to think, and I knocked my headphones off my head. Or, well, off my ears, anyway. Obviously, I didn't have to cover my face to think, but you know how it is. So the operation I want to do is like, I have a number, which is either 0, 1, or 2, which represents like 1 less than the port that I want to write to. I mod 3, and then I unconditionally add 1. And then that's the port that I read from, right? So there should be a conditional add 1 before that. Does it go right before it? It seems like it could. And I guess I want... Right, there's a few other things I need. I think I have just enough space here. I need a writer here, set to distance 1, writing into an input requester. And then I need a nullifier whose default state is off. Wired up to this bad boy. And then a recycler. Not quite, because I don't have anything requesting input 0 again. And I can't fit one here without making the loop bigger. Which I could do, I could make the loop bigger, but that's my throughput. I could, you know, do like this and request an input somewhere in here. Here? I don't know. Maybe we'd have to go even further, something like that. But that takes up a ton of space. So we could put it here when we're getting, when we're writing something, we request a new input. That would be fine, I think. Except we have to be really quick, don't we? I don't even have time to put these inputs onto a conveyor, I don't think. These bits. Like, you could imagine doing this, where there's a conveyor here, and then a request input, and then they go to the output or something. I don't think I actually have that amount of time, because right after I request this input, I need another input from here as well to set whether this should be toggled. Now, okay, maybe I actually do need to make this loop longer now that I look at it, because I have an unconditional add 1, but I don't have the matching unconditional subtract 1. So we're actually drifting every time we go through this loop, which is incorrect. I should not do such a thing. And so if I'm going to make it longer like this, I think I have enough time to request from input 0 and also unconditionally subtract 1. Like so. There's a lot of adding and subtracting in here, man. Now, this one says it's reading from input 0, but remember, we're going to overwrite it when we get here. So let's see what happens. I've spawned 0. We've received 176. Which is going to be in time to affect this, but it's a minus, so it's not a plus. So we're going to say, go ahead and don't be nullified. Wait, no, it should be nullified. We should not increment. Okay, this is in the wrong state. So this is a 1. Well, we're choosing not to add 1 to it. It's actually a 0. But I guess this is how it displays as like a countdown of 1, and then it goes back to being 0. Okay, weird. Now we're going to take it mod 3, leaving it 0. We add 1 unconditionally, getting into the range of 1, 2, 3. We write that into this input requester. We read input number 1, which is what we're supposed to do. Then we decrease ourselves back to 0, and we request another input, and it's just in time. So done? Problem solved? Nope, 99 errors. Okay, that's fun. Okay, what did I misunderstand? So minus, minus, minus. Oh boy, I have a suspicion of what could be wrong, and I really hope that isn't it. No, it doesn't look like that's it. Okay, so we should read first H, R, and X, right? Because this signal is... It's our H. Still not changing, so we write this R. We get this thing that's apparently an X, 124, yep. Now we've read 127, which is a plus. Whoa! I see the problem. We output another thing into the loop. This was the wrong way to route this. No problem. Easy fix. Hopefully that was the only issue. Right. It's okay to route through ports, but not X ports. You can route through these because they ignore signals, but this port cares about signals. Okay, so this, though, doesn't care about signals. So is this fine? Yes. Great. No, a very pleasant solution, I think. In well less than the maximum allotted space. I know, they don't care about the size of the rectangle, but it's just nice for it to all be crammed together, I think. And actually, here's a little... So, cycles were actually just barely average, because our loop is size 8. Okay, interesting. Icons in space, we did very well. 16 icons. Well, 16 space is definitely the best you could do with 16 icons, right? Are there any easy improvements we could make on one of those axes? I don't think so. The real goal would be to get this loop shorter. That would be the dream, right? But I don't quite see how. Well, if we're willing to sack a little bit of space, maybe we could. Because some of this is sort of like not important to the core functionality, right? The add one and subtract one and the mod 3. Now you do have to do the mod 3. But the unconditional add and subtract and the actually writing something, we could like spawn another thread to do those, so to speak, right? Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, but let's do this in another save slot, shall we? So I don't mess up the existing solution. So let's take this, get it out of here for the moment. And I believe I can take all of these and this and put them elsewhere. Which means the core loop just needs to do 3 things. Sometimes add 1 and mod 3. And then if I just stick a duplicator in here, I think that's what I could do. I could do something like this. Is that a duplicator? Yeah. So the bit that I'm using escapes every cycle, and I send a new one back in to continue looping. Except this is in the wrong place now. Okay, that's fine, I think. I think I could do it like this. Right? And then all of this stuff, I don't even need the subtract 1 anymore, do I? So I'm not even costing myself icons. All this stuff can happen here. Like this. And then bring this back. Ooh, I could use this space, couldn't I? Okay, hang on. Huh? Pretty clever. If it works, I'll feel like a smart little boy. Okay, so we need to rearrange this, though. This has to happen first. Because as soon as this should make things line up properly. We request a new bit from this that should line up with, well, let's see. So now we've determined, we want to write to the 0th thing, but actually that's the 1th thing. So first we say, give me a new input bit. Great, these two are synced up. Now we say, actually 0 is 1, please. Change this to read from input 1, or signal 1, and then read it. And it goes there. Oh, it's beautiful. It's completely wrong. Great, 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 great. Why would you say that to me? What has happened? Where was my very first error? It's looking good so far, actually, isn't it? What? There. So let's put a breakpoint here, I guess? I don't know. Hopefully this will help me see what went wrong at this point. Yeah. We're not doing the mod 3 we should do here. Because I added 1 to 3 and got 4. But I should have added 1 to 3 and gotten 1. So is there some way I could do this mod 3 before I exit the loop? It seems like it should be possible, right? It just requires moving stuff around a bunch again, which I hate. Obviously, I could just make this longer and put another mod 3 in here. I don't want to do that. Well, okay, first, I guess, let's confirm that that would work. Wait, where's this supposed to go? Here, right? Yeah. I have a breakpoint, but I don't care because my program is now correct. Okay, fine. So take away the breakpoint. So that would work. I could just throw in another mod 3, use up even more space. The problem, though, is that the very next thing I do after mod 3 has to be a nullifier, right? I mean, I guess it's not true. If I did this, or something equivalent to it. And then I could afford a gap in between the mod 3 and the nullifier. But like, I need to request input on the tick before I go into the Z to keep maximum throughput. Which means the tick before I go into the Z can't be the duplicator. Because I'm not requesting input on the same tick I'm duplicating, right? I mean, this is good throughput. It's great throughput, actually, I assume. Let's go have a look. Okay, some people are doing even better. Amazing. And it's not as good on space as we were. It's the same on icons, which is a little surprising. I thought I'd added one. But this icon makes me sad. And so does this space. And this isn't hurting my throughput exactly, but it is costing me a little latency on, the first couple ticks. I don't think I can make this loop any shorter. I don't know how people are shaving substantial numbers of cycles. And to be sure, it's not many people doing it, but some are. I could, I could save a tiny bit of space, I think. If I, you know what? Before I mess it up, let's just confirm this is still correct. I haven't ruined anything. Okay. Give me another copy, please. Okay. So I could do something like this. So there's a little gap before in between spawning and checking. And then I could even move this here, right? That would be too fast, I think. I'd have to go even further, like this, maybe. Then there's an even bigger gap, though. Well, but it means this part of the program doesn't have to request input at all, which is nice. It costs me more space, but it's gonna... Nope, I hate it. I'm not gonna do it. Let's erase this slot. All right, great. It's a triumph, huge success. I'm not gonna try to make it better. That was a reasonably quick puzzle, but I suspect it was still 34 minutes. I don't want to get into another one right now. Nanobuffer? I don't know. Let's have a look. Maybe it's short and sweet. This buffer stores the most recent data intact while aggregating the oldest data. What? Okay. 0 terminated sequences. 2 to 11 elements, including the 0. Output the total sum of all values, and then output the last 4. Interesting. How would you do that? And in so little space. I mean, they gave me so little space. Maybe it's an easy puzzle. Maybe we'll do it today. So the obvious way to retain the latest 4, I see, I think, maybe. The idea I have in mind is to have like a pathway that every U-bit goes through with 4 triggerable conveyors on it. And so, like, we're reading data, the U-bits are going through here, and then when I detect that one of them is a 0, i.e. we're done, I suddenly turn on all these conveyors so that those 4 get jumped out, instead of going to the recycler at the end. I rescue all 4 of them at once. Right? The U-bit and wire structure is perfect for queues, in a way. The wire is just a queue. Now, problem is, I don't want to do this until the 0 is in the last spot. So, like, I've got like 3 things. I've got some junk here. 3 of the last 4 are here, and the 0's here. So I guess I would need, like, this with an equal 0. Wired up to another recycler. Something like that, right? Already, I'm really pushing the limits of the space they're giving me, I think. But I'm not necessarily beyond those limits. And yeah, I mean, you could maybe do this. Well, I mean, how though? How? Okay, I guess you might do this. But how are you? I mean, this is insane, right? Okay, maybe I need to think of things as moving from right to left in order to fit into this shape. This is ridiculous. Okay, forget that. I also want an obstructor. Is -1? Is that what I want? Yeah. Where we like every bit that comes in gets fed into this obstructor, which is where we're going to keep the total. And when we get a 0, we'll not only send all these out, but we'll release this guy. Clear? Not the prettiest thing anyone's ever seen. Need new input as well, I guess. I think this, like, makes sense. Does it work at all? Let's find out. So we get an 8. Oh, right, okay, so... I was assuming I get input every tick, and then I, like, put that there, so I actually didn't do that, but I think I could. If I were really fast and efficient. Like this? The path from here to here is so much shorter than the path from here to here that we could have problems. This isn't quite right. One bit per tick might be too ambitious. Maybe I need to wait 2 ticks or something. Because the problem is a really short... How short is the shortest? Oh, 2 to 11 elements, including the 0. So we're not ever going to get just another 0 and have to output something immediately. Maybe that's fine. Okay, so what does this do? Well, I'm still not... doing what I said I would. Well, I guess I can use the normal intersection and point the duplicator up. So we request an input every single tick. Ah, we have to be careful about when the timing of where this is, actually. Now that we're doing something every tick, eh? So it needs to be... Oh, it needs to be quite close to this, doesn't it? But also, so this is when we get... It might be impossible to do it in every tick. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's impossible. Because... when we get 2 bits of input, we have to output 3 bits. So you can't do it a tick at a time. Now, if you get like 11 bits of input, and you only have to output 5, yeah, great. It would be really nice to like take that save time and I mean, like, come on, let's get real, right? So I don't need to be this fast. Maybe I could do like this or something. Oh, the problem is now these aren't lined up. They're not lined up, Jerry. That's not a good George Costanza impression. Okay, also some other problems. This is pointing the wrong way. But these are not lined up. So if I have inputs, I don't know the words, a period of 2, I could do this and then they would be lined up, assuming I didn't mess anything else up. Like, this is conceivable anyway. Also, we need a recycler here. These two are pointing at each other, which is no good. Problem solved. Kind of. It's certainly getting hairier. But it just takes so long to output this stuff that a new bit coming in will have caused us a problem. Right? Like, let's say we get to a point where all 4 of these are filled up. And I flush them. Great. But, in the meantime... I've been requesting a bit every 2 ticks. And so the bit that was here will take so long to get to the exit that a short string will have its sum output first, I think. Although maybe if I did this, we'd be okay. Yeah, maybe we would, actually. But this is going to be wrong for a different reason, which is that now... Actually, wait, what am I supposed to... What order do I output things in? The sum first. Yeah. So I need to be able to get from here to here faster than I can get from here to here. So it has to be like this or something. This? I think those overlap, right? Yeah. So it would have to be like this. But then the path from here to here is so long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's enough time for like 5.5 other bits to come in. Trim these 2 off, I guess, because they're going to be racing. 9. I mean, it's still too far. So there's this kind of balancing act here, it feels like, or a trade-off at least, where it seems impossible to maintain a high throughput. But if your throughput is not very high, like 1 or 2, this idea of 4 synchronized conveyors is much harder to do, is it not? Like if my throughput were 2 bits per... I mean, I don't know. So the other thing is, you could try like putting, don't request a bit unconditionally here. Request one here, maybe, when you know a bit has made it through this conveyor. And another one here, because that'll mean, if a bit got here, that means the current bit like wasn't 0, right? And therefore we're adding on to this pending buffer. And one here, we request, you know, the current, we're done with the current string. We're busy flushing stuff, right? So... I don't know. I feel like this idea is right, but the timing is way off. And I don't know how to fix it. Does a synchronizer help somehow? Like, maybe we could arrange that there actually are 4 of these in a row, and we get the bits to, like, line up to get into a queue before going in somehow. Even though they arrive more densely packed. We're given synchronizers. So, like... what would happen if I put, like, 4 synchronizers here? Nothing good, I think. Well... maybe something good. It's not so easy to do that at the moment with the way my wiring is, but suppose I could do it. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't be that hard. Well, like, here's, I guess let's test something simple anyway. If I this is not solving the current problem anymore. I want to play around and see what happens. Let's say I send U bits into this fairly slowly. Right? They're arriving at a periodicity of 4. And I have synchronizers set like this. This first one will let the U bit through, because it said... or wait. X other synchronizers. Yeah. So then it'll get here and it'll say, wait a minute, there's not one other person at a synchronizer. I have to wait. Then when someone gets here, they'll both progress and there'll be 3... Wait. This is not going to work. Because this one never holds it. So this sort of looks at first glance like it might work, but it doesn't. Because we get here and we say, oh, well, wait, great. Wait, maybe it does work? Right, and then we say, oh, wait here. No. Now here's where it breaks. I want both of these to wait for this guy to get here. And this guy is going to do it, but this guy is not. He's saying, oh, there's someone else here to synchronize with. Let's go. So it ruins my whole life. So I thought this might be a way to get them to pile up. But it doesn't work. I feel like that's an interesting subproblem on its own, right? Is you have an input stream of U bits which are coming in at some frequency that's too low, and you want to compact them down so that they're at 1 per cycle again. Obviously you can't like make them be 1 per cycle forever, but as long as the input is still streaming stuff, you can release it in chunks of this much. But even that wouldn't really help, because once I let this go, like, yeah, this whole idea is silly. So why was it that I thought I couldn't just do this at 1 cycle per input? It was because I have to output more than I input, right? Strictly more. Well, not strictly more. Sometimes more, sometimes less. To 11 elements, including the 0. Yeah, so here's an example of just a single bit and then a 0. So if we were doing that every tick, can you make some amortization argument that actually things will be fine? I don't think so. Because, like, what if I just had 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 being input forever? Or 1, 0, 1, 0, I guess, because the first one has to be non-zero. My output for that has to be 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. So for every input, I have to output 3 bits. Every 2 inputs, I have to output 3 bits. So you cannot have a period of 1. Maybe the test cases are set up so that you could get away with it, but like in theory, it's impossible. So what that means to me is that you can't just, well, You can't have every bit input request another bit unconditionally and also have a period of 1. You could maybe do that if your period were 2, although it seems hard. That's what I was trying to do here with the widely spaced conveyors, and it didn't work out. Maybe you could make that approach work. But another approach you could do, it seems to me, is to have a period of 1, but stop when you detect a 0. Now, that seems a little bit harder, but it doesn't seem impossible, right? Well, it might be. Because, like, how do you do that? If to have a period of 1 means that immediately after you read an input, you have to read another input. But it doesn't have to be like this, I think. Because in principle what you could do is say, like, what's the OE of these? 20, huh? Okay, that's probably good. It seems like you could have an equal 0 sensor be the first thing your bits hit off the wire. If you had another process whose job was to request inputs and stop when this hits 0. Right? Like we had a port X here. Because my dream, I guess, would be to get an input every tick until I detect a 0 and then stop. And then it would be really easy to feed into something like this, I think, and hope. But I think so. The problem is, how do I turn this guy off if he's pointing right at this? Well, maybe I don't have to. Because we always want... Okay, call me crazy. We always need to request at least 2 bits, right? And so we could have this much be unconditional. But if we detect a 0, If we detect a non-zero, maybe. Oh, maybe this works. If I detect a non-zero, request another input. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? I think. And then recycle when we're done. What do I get out of this? Too many. I got too much. Why did I get this 9? I didn't ask for you. Oh, is this just, maybe a matter of the... Okay, let's just try this. No, this is too slow. Although, maybe I could make that work by spreading out the conveyors. I think I could. But it would be nice if it were 1, wouldn't it? I feel like if I press Q here, it should give me the Y port, but whatever. So why does this not work again? It's because this 7 has already put something here saying, give me something next tick. Well, maybe I could just make do with the period 2 solution. Let's confirm that that actually did work. Oops, no, I wanted to do the opposite of that. Yeah, so that's great. That's what we need. And we just need to space these out more. Maybe there's some cooler solution, but I'm at this time thinking any solution is pretty cool. Something like this, I don't know. Let's be low on icons instead of low on space, shall we? That. Now, how do I tell when to request new input? I know at least these two will be releasing something. Oh, I'll put it here. makes me a little nervous. Such a long distance from here to here. By the time I get to 0, I won't have... Okay, I need the distance from here to here to be no bigger than the distance from here to here. So I think this is as close as I could, as far to one side as I could make it. This might be correct, although I doubt it. Oops, that should be an equal 0, not a define to 0. Whoops, this... Okay. So if this is equal to 0, alright, give me a nullifier, please. And if I get a 0, this should be deactivated. Which means this default state should be activated, make things pass through this request input. It's not wired up to anything, you dummy. Okay, try again. So this guy's gonna go right through here. Okay, we get a 0, meaning the input is done. Oh, actually I don't have to be quite so fast, do I? Although this 0 is a problem. Hey, how come you didn't escape? Oh, the 0 wasn't even there yet. So this is fine, except you turned red. So I can actually, you know, I could do something to try to make sure that the extra 0 here gets thrown away or something, but I know it's going to be a red 0, so I can just say, make it neutral colored again. Let the 0 get in and pollute things. Make it neutral. Output it, and then these guys start getting output. Uh-oh. Why'd y'all go the wrong way? Oh, this is the wrong kind of... Wait. Is it the wrong kind of conveyor? So these are the bits that... Oh, this is pointing... Okay. This got, in one of my rewrites, this got pointed the wrong way. Alright, try again. Now we detect a 0. So we send those up. This gets in. These are coming in. And we do want the 0. And we're in plenty of good shape. Frankly, I could speed things up a little bit by doing this. Nope, everything is hell. Alright, what happened? Where was my first error exactly? The whole thing is wrong. It looks like an 8 got here before the 26 somehow. Oh. Right, there was a reason that this recycler was over here. Looking pretty cool. let's say go fast. All right. Whew. So, you know, this took me a little bit. I was too ambitious hoping to do this in one episode. I knew it, but you know, it was interesting. Pretty darn good on cycles. The others, not so hot. Space, well below average. I mean, yeah, you got me. It's bad. It sure is something. But I am not changing a thing. This is my perfect little angel. Getting the period down to 2 was a big triumph for me. And it's not a constant 2, because I managed to actually, I was controlling the input, right? Made it stop when I couldn't handle more bits. Some people did it better, but I'll take my 39%. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.